What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Fight Night MMA. Alex Pereira just destroyed Magomed Ankalaev to reclaim his UFC belt at UFC 320. Poatan lived up to his words and knocked out the Dagestani star once again to reclaim the title. Meanwhile, Alex Pereira reveals that he broke his foot while kicking Magomed Ankalaev's leg. He explains that the moment his kick landed on Ankalaev's lead leg, he instantly felt something was wrong with his foot.
I know you have a boot on your foot here. When you think about the timeline of getting back in there, you've always been very active throughout your UFC career. When do you want to get back in there?
Yeah, we have to see how this heals up. I'm pretty sure it's broken. You know, I was kicking his legs, and when he switched stances, as soon as I kick his lead leg, you know, I felt my foot, so we'll have to see.
Magomed Ankalaev breaks his silence following his defeat to Alex Pereira, saying that if Allah has tested him with a loss, it is to make him stronger. He expresses gratitude to those who stood by him, and also to those who distanced themselves, explaining that Allah removes not only weakness, but also unnecessary people from one's path. Magomed Ankalaev said, "If Allah tested me with defeat, it means He wants to strengthen me. I bow to His will, but not to difficulties. To those who stayed by my side, thank you. Thank you also to those who turned away. After all, Allah clears the path not only of weakness, but also of unnecessary people." Alex Pereira also shared an inspirational message after his win at UFC 320, saying that in life, everyone falls, but it's important never to stay down. He encouraged people to get up, believe in themselves, and remember that hard times pass. With resilience, dedication, and a good heart, he said, anyone can overcome challenges and achieve great things. Alex Pereira makes it clear that he has no interest in facing Khamzat Chimaev after his win at UFC 320. He says he only wants a super fight and is now focused on moving up to heavyweight.
I don't know if you're aware of this yet, but middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has called you out and said that congratulations, but now you guys need to finish your business. Are you aware of what business that is, and are you interested in him moving up to fight you at this stage?
O campeão peso médio te desafiou, Khamzat Chimaev, falou parabéns, mas vocês têm negócio a resolver. Que negócios são esses e te interessam?
Obrigado pelos parabéns, mas eu quero uma super luta, igual eu falei, quero lutar nos pesos pesados. Então, só agradeço só pelos parabéns.
Thanks for congratulating me, but all I want is a super fight. I want to fight at heavyweight, but all I can say is thank you.
On the other hand, Alex Pereira confirms his desire to move up to heavyweight, saying he wants a bigger challenge and feels ready to test himself against the toughest fighters in that division.
When you look at the challenges ahead, the contenders that are waiting to come and challenge you for that belt, what is the one that makes the most sense for you?
No one in mind yet. You know, as I said, I want to have a bigger challenge at heavyweight, and that's basically it.
Dana White reacts to Alex Pereira's talk about moving up to heavyweight, revealing that Pereira and his team already mentioned the idea before UFC 320. Dana recalls running into Alex at the PI earlier that day, where they told him they wanted to fight at heavyweight. He responded by telling them to first focus on the fight that night and then discuss the future. Dana adds that there are still plenty of matchups left for Pereira in his current division.
He seemed to tease that maybe he was going to call for a John Jones fight, but then kind of pulled it back after, learning about Arthur. Is him going to heavyweight something you would entertain at this point?
So today I was at work and had a bunch of meetings over there this afternoon, and I went over to the PI, and he was over in the PI. And I'm like, well, you're the last guy I expected to see here today. What are you doing here? And they're telling me we want to fight at heavyweight. I said, how about we win tonight and focus on tonight, and then we could talk about, heavyweight. And I don't know. There's still fights here in this division.
Dana White further reacts to Alex Pereira's interest in moving up to heavyweight, questioning the idea of jumping two divisions. He points out that moving from middleweight to heavyweight in MMA is far different from doing so in boxing, calling it a major leap. White adds that Pereira still has compelling matchups left in his current division and wonders why he would rush into the heavyweight division unless he plans to retire soon.
What is your hesitation about him going up to heavyweight? He's mentioned it a few times in the past. He always wanted that John Jones fight, and I understand why maybe that fight wasn't appealing to you, but what is your reservations about sending him to heavyweight at this point?
Probably that he was a middleweight. He was a middleweight, and he's going to jump up 2 weight classes in the UFC. It's not like jumping up 2 weight classes in boxing. It's a big jump.
And as far as Yuri's performance,
and it's not that I have any reservations about it. I mean, the guy is he's in a division that there's still some interesting fights. I don't know. It's just I like the guy so much. We'll see. We'll have to talk about it. I just don't see why, unless he wants to retire, why throwing him in at heavyweight makes any sense. Other than I just end up saying he wants to do it so bad, I'll just say yes. I don't know.
However, Adam Catterall agreed with Alex Pereira's plan to move up to heavyweight. He suggested that Jiří Procházka and Carlos Ulberg should fight for the vacant light heavyweight title while Pereira pursues a third UFC belt to kick off the new TV deal in January. Adam Catterall said, "I agree with Alex Pereira, heavyweight next, Jiří and Ulberg for the vacant LHW title, whilst Alex attempts to win the belt in a third weight class to start the new TV deal in January." Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall reacts to Alex Pereira's stunning knockout win, admitting he was proven wrong after doubting Pereira going into the fight. He praises Pereira's performance, calling it very, very impressive and noting how easily he ran through his opponent in just over a minute. Aspinall wonders what's next for Pereira, questioning whether he'll finally move up to heavyweight or take another fight at light heavyweight, leaving the decision up to the UFC.
Ankalaev just doesn't seem to be able to get anything off so far. Pereira keeping a perfect distance here. Ankalaev switched orthodox now. I don't know why. Wait, he's not usually orthodox. Oh! He's caught him. It's like pull guard on him. He's covering up, he must be hurt. Oh, he's using the 12 to 6s. He's not, he's going to get stopped. Boom. There it is. What's that? 1 minute? 1 minute 20? Something like that? 1 minute 30? Pereira just absolutely ran through and look, I was wrong. That's very, very, very impressive.
Does he move to heavyweight now, or does he fight Jiří, or what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm sure that's his decision. Who's next for Pereira? See what he wants to do. Ulberg's just won. Ulberg's very good. Maybe I know he's been talking about coming to heavyweight, so see what the UFC want to do.
Robert Whittaker believes the middleweight division no longer has anyone capable of beating Alex Pereira, explaining that the fighters who could have challenged him belong to a past era. He thinks moving up to heavyweight is the smartest move for Pereira, both for his legacy and financial opportunities.
The guys that had the best chance of beating Alex aren't in the division anymore. It was a generation ago. Unfortunately, It was an era ago, and they're not there anymore. So there's no one for Alex in that division, I don't think. Poses him a threat.
Sure.
Moving up to light heavy is the right thing to do, superstardom-wise.
To heavyweight.
Making money. Making bank. Otherwise, Yep.
Robert Whittaker admits he now believes Alex Pereira's claim of being only 40% in their first fight. After watching Pereira's dominant rematch performance, Whittaker says he's convinced the Brazilian was genuinely sick and injured the first time around.
Everyone and their friend was saying they wanted to see Alex move forward. They wanted to see him be more aggressive. Put Magomed Ankalaev back on the back foot, make him react to Alex's game. And man, it's like it was like that's what I wanted to do the first time, and just went in there and just stoned him, dude. Just that he just went in there with absolute confidence. You know what? He said in his first fight he was fighting at 40%. He was sick. He had injuries. Dude, I believe him now. It's not that I didn't believe him the first time, but everyone's like, okay, but that, because Ankalaev controlled that fight, and what happened.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, dude, he must have had leprosy, because the difference in this second fight was crazy. This is how everyone thought the first fight was going. This is how everyone thinks any fight Alex Pereira is going to be in is going to go.
Robert Whittaker believes Magomed Ankalaev may never get another title shot, noting that the UFC was never particularly fond of him. He added that Ankalaev will now have to climb back through the tough light heavyweight division to earn another opportunity.
But it's safe to say that Magomed Ankalaev is probably never seeing a title opportunity for a long time, if ever. Oh man, what a fight. I'm still shocked.
Yeah. Ankalaev's going to have to work his way back up. UFC don't love the guy to begin with, so he's going to have to work his way through the grinder that is the division. But
Ariel Helwani points out that Alex Pereira's performance was fueled by pure anger. He notices how Pereira threw his elbows and ground and pound with real emotion, still carrying that fire even after the fight. Helwani recalls Pereira admitting he wasn't himself in their first meeting at UFC 300, and this was his chance to prove everyone wrong. He also highlights Pereira's post-fight gesture and Ankalaev's pre-fight comments. Helwani concludes that Chama reigned supreme once again.
He threw those elbows, he inflicted that ground and pound with anger. There was anger. the whole thing, even in the aftermath, it felt like he was still angry because, as he said in the post-fight interview, he wasn't himself back in March when they fought at UFC 313. He said no one believed him, some did, and here was his opportunity to prove his point. He also did that thing which Rick or GC probably know where it comes from. It's from some sort of TikTok thing where he goes like this, he goes like this. He did it over Jamal Hill. Well, he did it 3 times right over Magomed Ankalaev, and then he made sure to say chama a few times in his face because Ankalaev said prior to the fight that there would be no more chama. Of course, chama reigns supreme, and he is once again the man.
Ariel Helwani emphasizes that Alex Pereira now fully embodies superstardom. He explains that deep down, even the UFC needed Pereira to win, and he delivered in dominant fashion. Helwani calls him one of the biggest and most beloved figures in the sport, praising the way he made his victory undeniable, clean, one-sided, and emphatic. He notes that it took Pereira just 80 seconds to stop Magomed Ankalaev, the very man who had taken his belt earlier in the year.
I mean, he comes across as a superstar. I said on Wednesday, deep down inside the UFC, if they were being honest, they would admit they needed him to win, and he won. He's one of the biggest stars in the sport, one of the most beloved figures in the sport, and for him to come back like that, to make it undeniable, to make it as clean and as one-sided and as dominant as he just did, a little over a minute. Let me get the exact time if I can pull it up right over here. The exact time is, according to our friends at Tapology, it is so quick that they didn't even have it up yet. 1 minute and 20 seconds. So 80 seconds is all it took for Alex Pereira to dispose of Magomed Ankalaev, the guy who took his belt away from him back in March and who beat him back then via unanimous decision.
Max Holloway was fired up watching Alex Pereira's knockout win over Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320, cheering in excitement as Pereira delivered another highlight finish.
Go Pereira! Leg kicks, bro. The leg kicks, bro. Oh, he almost got hit with that right hook, bro. Who was killing him with leg kicks? Someone was killing him, huh? Who? Jan, yes. His leg kicks is not. Oh. Oh, stop this. Stop this, RG. Stop it already. He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. Wow! Whoa! 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 Oh! Freaking Pereira! What did he hit? Overhand, bro. Bro, this. and he went to him when he was standing up, bro. He still did him, bro, while he was standing. He never stopped. He was like, I'm gonna do it one more time, bro. Make sure you saw him, bro.
Henry Cejudo celebrates Alex Pereira's victory, declaring that Poatan is back on top of the world. Henry Cejudo said, "Poatan is back on top of the world." Matt Brown reacted to Alex Pereira's dominant performance, saying that's exactly how to win a rematch. Matt Brown said, "Damn, that's how you win a rematch." Justin Gaethje praised Alex Pereira as a true inspiration, noting how he came back and reclaimed his title. Justin Gaethje said, "Alex Pereira straight inspiration, came back and reclaimed not once but 2 times beast." Kamaru Usman stated, "Geez, Pereira came to thump." Petr Yan pointed out that Alex Pereira's win served as a reminder that rematches can look completely different from the first fight. Petr Yan said, "That was a reminder that rematches can look very different from the first fight." Derek Brunson reacted to Alex Pereira's quick win, noting that he was already back on top of the light heavyweight division. Derek Brunson said, "Alex Pereira back atop of the light heavyweight division, that was quick." Derek Brunson suggested that Alex Pereira might retire as champion, pointing out that only strikers seem capable of challenging him at this point. Derek Brunson added, "Alex Pereira might retire with the belt, only strikers in a position to challenge." Patricio Pitbull praised Alex Pereira's performance, saying he once again showcased his power and dominance, ending his message with chama. Patricio Pitbull, what a great performance. Alex Pereira shows his power once again. Chama, Renato Moicano declared Alex Pereira the best Brazilian fighter ever to exist. Renato Moicano said, "The best Brazilian fighter to ever exist." Luke Thomas remarked that Alex Pereira's win over Magomed Ankalaev was not only the quickest fight of his UFC career, but also the easiest of his entire MMA run, noting that it came with the least resistance he had ever faced. Luke Thomas stated, "That was literally not just the easiest fight of Alex Pereira's UFC career, but his entire MMA career. It was the shortest of all his fights, yes, but also with the least amount of resistance." That wraps up today's video. Share your thoughts on the outcome of this fight. Who do you think won this fight? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates on the upcoming UFC showdowns.